lecture is not about accreditation or assessment. The organizers have placed me here and responsibility is theirs. I would like to talk on the scenario of Muslim education in India. In the inaugural session today, I was very happy to hear that they have given a lot of importance to minority. There is a separate session on minority education, which is really praiseworthy, and I praise the organizers for their commitment. As per the 2001 census, population of Muslims in India is 13.4%. That means in 2009, India's population was 120 crores and India's Muslim population was 16.1 crores. We cannot ignore this huge population as recorded in 2001 and 9 itself. So it is a duty of all the citizens of India to bring Muslims into the mainstream by the philosophy of access of education for all the communities in India. That is very important. Next one, if you see the growth of the population of major religions in the Indian scenario, compared with Muslims, in 1961 it was 10.7, and in 2001 it is raised to 13.4. As compared to the average of Indian population growth, Muslim population has increased. If average is 2.13, Muslim population is 2.7, Sikh population is 2.24, Buddhist 2.23, and others 3.38. As compared to the other religions, especially Hindus, the Muslim population has increased from year to year. And the share of the Muslims in younger age groups also is more. For example, age group 0 to 9, 1 to 9 it should be, male 27.1, female 27.4, and age 10 to 19 is 24.8 male, 23.8 female, and later the age group, in the age group 20 to 50 plus, it is gradually reduced. So what happens to those who are having the access for higher education is gradually declining as the age increases. This is the biggest question. In India, of course, in all the states, Muslims are there. More or less their representation as per the 2001 census is 13.4%, but now it is certainly more than 16 to 20% at present. But census is not done, and 2011 survey is not yet published. Major Muslim populated areas are Jammu Kashmir, Assam, West Bengal, and Kerala. Literary rate as compared to all other communities, it is a 2001 census. The literacy rate of Muslims is 59.1 as compared to SC/STs of 52.2, but at present the literacy rate of SC/ST will be definitely more than Muslims. There is a notion that Muslims go for their study for madrasas, etc. But Muslim children going for the madrasas is 4% only. They go to private schools 30%, government school 66%. But the problem is the students from primary education, when they move from secondary education, and then for the higher education, their dropout rate will be more. The reasons are many. Their economic condition and attitudes of the parents, attitudes of the society towards them. There are many reasons. Now I would like to add on the madrasas. Earlier in madrasas, they used to study Arabic only and Quran. But now Muslims have realized, at least the educated Muslims have realized that in addition to Arabic, they should be taught in Urdu and also the regional language and English also, so that they will have better access for the higher education in the later days. That's very important. And we should also connect madrasas to various institutes of higher education, so that the students who study in madrasa are in maktabs. There is another way of education for Muslims known as maktabs. We should connect madrasa and maktab to the other institutes, so that Muslim children can mix with the other children and they can grow in a more healthy manner, and tomorrow they will have less problems. Higher education scenario, 77% of the population aged 20 years and above are graduates or they hold diploma, while only 4% of the Muslim population have that access. The gap between Muslims and other socio-religious groups also increases as the level of education increases. The unemployment rates among Muslim graduates is the highest among socio-religious groups, socio-religious categories, both among the poor and the non-poor. So this is a very peculiar situation with regard to the Muslim community. As the unemployment rate increases, as the education level increases amongst the Muslims. My question is, if Muslims are given only, or they are having only 4% of the access for higher education, what happens to the 96% of the other persons? Where are they going? Why they are not getting education? If the education is not given to Muslims, it is not only they suffer, the whole nation will suffer. Other communities will suffer. We have to take, it is the responsibility of the country and the citizens to take care of them, those 96% of the Muslims who have no access for higher education. This is very serious. That is why the inclusive philosophy must be adopted with all seriousness. If we keep them happy, everybody will be happy. This is the age group, and then as the age group increases, dropout rate increases. Dropout rate increases. Where they go? Maybe they go for washing the car, or do some business in the streets, or they may be petty business in bus stands. This is the scenario, socio-economic scenario of the Muslims. I give only one. This slide is more important to me. This is the situation, educational situation, especially in South India and my university. General merit students 5.94%, SC/ST about 18%, ST 7%, category 1 7.8%, least is for 2B. 2B is 5.34%. In South India, especially university, general university like me, 5.34% of the Muslims get admission in higher education. So what happens to the rest 95% is another question. Now, if you analyze this last column, I have put it as a gain here. SC/ST reservation is 15% all over country, but In addition to 15%, they get extra seat of 2.89 by their merit. Whereas STs, 4% extra seat they get by merit. Other socio-religious groups also 18%, 11% extra. Because of the policy of the government with regard to the reservation, SCs, they are better off, better than, I can say, Muslims. Now it is necessary to make policies at the state government level, central government level, to bring Muslims into the higher education stream. Otherwise, education cannot go in the proper way. As we think of all the quality in the education, if the Muslims are not given access for higher education, then you cannot expect the country to grow in an equilibrium manner. Employment scenario, Muslims are least employed in the government and as well as other undertakings. And IAS, IFS and Home Department, they are not, Army, they are not represented. And within Muslims also, there are some communities which are least privileged. They are Ashrafs, Ajlams and Arzals. It is necessary to include policy to make reservation for the backward communities in Muslims also. And with this I end up here. I thank you very much.